And I was like me? Like, I'm the one being fearful when she found out she was pregnant of giving birth at all. And now the doctor is asking me that I should say something what should help like other women to be a patient like I am. So the contractions changed. They started to be more, they were the kind of contractions that help you to push the baby out. So I knew and I learned that I don't have to do anything at all because your uterus, you're just able to be there. You can lay there and let your body push. So I was on my knees, I think, and waiting for the thing to proceed. And I thought I am going to give birth very gracefully, very like this lady, like a queen that breathes her baby out. This was not the case. I was like this mama bear, elephant, whatever animal you want to take, because it's so sad. I thought it will be graceful. It's really sad because my body started to push, and you can maybe at this point I will tell you what it felt like for me. Like the contractions, the pushing contractions, they kind of feel like when you're vomiting. Not the bad, of course. Imagine you're vomiting. You don't tell your body to vomit the thing out, but your body is like just doing this thing where it's also kind of contracting or just tensioning, you know? And for me, it was the exact same thing. My body contracted and was tensioning, like my belly was tensioning without me doing anything. Imagine vomiting, like it happens, you're just there and it's happening to you. And it's the same thing with pushing out. Like the body was tensioning and I was just there like, because I was breathing. Oh my gosh. I was breathing through them, and because I was breathing, the sound of course came out, and I didn't want to sound like that, but I could do nothing. And this is like the videos that you see, maybe the women that are really pushing the sound out. It's not because it hurts. It's really not because it hurts. It is because it's so strong, like this strength going through you, the uterus like pushing the baby down. And this is very graphic, I'm sorry. But for me, it was helpful, at least. And maybe it's helpful for someone else. So maybe you see it, but I am fascinated by the body, even more now, the female body, what it's able to do. I'm in awe of God's creation. This is so crazy. But my uterus was pushing Bobby out. And so I was sounding really crazy, and I would never show this to anybody because I think they would think that I was like in pain or crazy or whatever, but it's just that strength that goes through your body. What was happening next is that she was kind of dropping and dropping and dropping, and at some point I tried to enter with my finger to see if I could reach her head, and I entered. And when I felt with my middle finger the tip of her head with tons of hair that she had, like the soft head, it was, oh my gosh. I will always remember this. Like the first time that I touched her, this makes me so emotional. I have no words for that. You have to experience that. It's wonderful. I touched her, and this gave me another burst of energy, of adrenaline, and I was keeping pushing. I was not pushing, as I said, but afterwards, like proceeding, I had something that is called, like they say, it's your uterus being tired, kind of. I think in German it's called weakness of uterus. Anyways, my uterus was kind of weak, and I think this was like a negative thing of being induced, because from being totally closed to fully dilated, it only took me 1 hour. 1 hour. Imagine having 1 hour for being closed to fully open, fully dilated, what your uterus has to go through. Like, it's really crazy. It has to work so much. Because of that, my uterus was very tired. And because of that, I had to support with pushing. Like, at this point, she told me that I have to push, I have to support my uterus. And I started pushing and like trying to find the technique to push the baby down, because it's really like the sensations are crazy. And I love this about giving birth without an epidural, because I could sense everything, and not in a painful way. I could sense how I have to breathe the baby down so that I could help her coming out. And what happened was that like her head was nearly crowning, but the thing is, like, you say crowning when they're like nearly coming out, but the thing is, she was like in the birth canal, and with the water you have a lack of gravity, of course, and this is also what helps you with pain, because you don't have any gravity. But with the lack of gravity, her head was not properly coming out or coming to the edge. So I was pushing with everything that I had, but we realized that it's kind of hard in the water to push her out. Oh, I totally forgot. In the meantime, my midwife called the doctor because the baby was nearly coming out, and then the doctor has to come. She entered the room when, like, in the stage where I was pushing, and we saw that the heart sounds of Bobby weren't that good. They weren't really positive. And still, this was also God, y'all. Still, the doctor didn't intervene. She was just looking at us. My husband described this to me. She was looking at us, and she made her way to a chair and just set herself down. And she observed us, and she let me do my thing. And I'm so grateful for that, because it was still only me, my husband, and the midwife. Sometimes the midwife was even leaving the room. So sometimes I was laboring on my own, which was awesome, also very beautiful, just me and my husband in the room. But at this point, as I said, the doctor was in and the midwife was also there. I was proceeding, and after some minutes, the doctor tried to motivate me and told me, yeah, we have to get her very soon. Like, her heart is not really good. She wasn't trying to put fear inside of me. Like, she was trying to push me and to encourage me to try my best. And sometimes she would say, hey, with the next contraction, we have to have the baby. And then she was like looking at my husband and I cannot wink. She was winking because she was just trying to motivate me. And it was helpful, kind of, because I thought, okay, Jesus, please give me strength. I want to give birth to this baby. I want to birth her right now in a natural way. And, but still, like, we had this issue with the head. And we decided afterwards that maybe we should try on the bed. And I wasn't even that disappointed, because I wanted to have a water birth. But at this point, it was way more important for me to bring Bobby to this earth without any issues. So I went on the bed. I tried. Like, they were helping me, of course. And then I was on the bed. And then on the bed, I pushed. And then finally, the head was not going in again. Like, the head was nearly on the edge, but I felt it wasn't going up in the birth canal again. So when I pushed, it stayed where it was. Then I pushed again, and it proceeded a bit and stayed there. And I pushed again, and I proceeded, and it stayed there. And I was really glad. So then still the midwife asked me to turn on my back. And I don't remember this, but my husband told me that I just answered her, no. This is not good. I'm not going to do that. I do not remember this, but I told her no. And she wanted me to understand that it's because of my perineal area. I didn't say that. I had those issues because of my perineal area, because I'm an equestrian since I'm like 9 years old. And to all of my equestrians, when you get pregnant, prepare your perineal area, because you don't want to tear down there, okay? So she said, because of my perineum area that I don't tear, I have to turn on my back so that she can like massage it in a better way that I don't tear. And then I accepted, because I really trusted her, because I felt she just, I don't know, I was just easygoing. I trusted her, even though I learned that pushing on your back is not good. But she said that it's in this situation I should do it, whatever. And I did it, and it was really helpful, and I was pushing with everything I could, and the doctor was there trying to encourage me. My husband was encouraging me like a coach when you're having game day, like, go girl, you push, you're amazing, you're strong, you're awesome. Just everyone encouraging me. It's so crazy. It was really funny. And I was pushing with everything I had. And then I felt her head was crowning, like she was slowly coming out, and the head was staying, and I knew, okay, she has to come out now. And then with the next push, with the next contraction, I was pushing, and I thought, okay, this is it. Now I want to have her head out. And I pushed and I pushed and I pushed, and then suddenly, plop, the head was out, and she already made like sounds like, and I knew like, okay, her head is out. I will need only 1 or 2 other contractions, and then she will be here. I knew that, and I was so excited. And my husband was looking, and it was miraculously. And then the contraction came. It was 1 other contraction, and she was out. The midwife grabbed her and put her right away on my chest. And I will never forget the sounds. I will never forget the picture. I will never forget the smell. This moment, like the first time that I heard her voice, oh, I had her close to me. I was processing that I gave birth. My first thought after I saw her being grabbed and putting on my chest was, snap, I just did that. I gave birth to a human being. Oh gosh, I will never forget the moment you meet your baby. It's like, I don't know, I felt like it has been you all along. Seeing you the first time in the ultrasound, all the next times in the ultrasound, feeling your kicks the first time, going on the baby moon with my husband to the Dominican Republic, coming back, just looking myself in the mirror all the time with this big belly, and then having her and knowing it was her all the time. It was the most wonderful feeling I have ever felt. Scientists say that like when you give birth, when you have your baby, it feels like, I don't know, like a 100 times higher high than the kick of heroin. I don't know if it's 100 or even more, but it's like, it's big time. Imagine having these kind of feelings, like the bond that you do with your baby at this moment. That's a miracle. That's a whole miracle. I'm still in awe. I had her. We were there processing what I have been going through the last 24 or 48 hours. And there she was. Bobby May was out. I had her on the chest. She was crying sometimes, like this cutest baby cries when they come out. And I was looking so forward to finally hear her voice, to finally meet her. And then this happening, it's such a blessing. It's such a gift from God. Oh my goodness. Then we cut the cord. My husband held her. He was crying. I was crying because he was crying. It was such a beautiful picture, seeing him with her in his arms the first time. It felt like there was no time in the room at this moment. I always say that through the whole birth, like the spiritual world was so touchable. It was so vivid. It was so thick. And if not until now, like after this, there is no way that what I believe is wrong. I'm so sorry if this offends anybody, but oh my gosh, it was so crazy. Also, like the piece that I have to jump like the next day forward real quick, because the doctor asked me 2 times. She asked me 2 times because it would not leave her alone. The first time she asked, hey, can you tell me what you would say to all the women out there who will give birth, like some suggestion or something that I would say that anybody is like me? And I was like me? Like I'm the one being fearful when she found out she was pregnant of giving birth at all. And now the doctor is asking me that I should say something what should help like other women to be a patient like I am. I do not even remember what I told her, but I was like, what, me? And then the next day she asked me again. She asked, hey, I have to ask you again, did you do like yoga or meditation or what did you do to give birth like that? And there were a lot of people in the room. That's why I think I was kind of shy, and I didn't want to offend anybody. But I mean, when she asked me if I was just doing yoga or meditation, I was like, I could not imagine how I would have been able to go through this whole thing only with meditating. Rather, it's way more someone making you able to go through that. Like someone giving you the tools, someone giving you strength. And this someone is Jesus. Because I'm so sorry, but I'm not sorry. This is my experience. I cannot imagine how I would have been able to birth in that way, being induced, mostly pain-free, without any help from my creator, like who knows my body, who knows my hormones. I cannot imagine that. I'm so sorry. And I'm not saying that every woman that is not depending on the help of God is not able to give birth pain-free. I am not saying that. I am saying that I am beyond grateful that I did not have to go through this without Jesus. And that is also proof, because she said that when she came into the room, she was kind of confused. She was confused because the CTG of Bobby's heart was bad. Like her heart was not really working good enough. But she felt such a peace when coming in that she really felt she does not have to do anything. She does not have to engage. She can just sit down and watch us work. Another confirmation for me that I had my people behind my back praying for us. I myself, my husband, we were praying, we were listening a lot of worship. We were listening to the Christian hypnobirthing app. I was taking my strength from God. He was giving it to me very gracefully. And it's because of that I was able. And until this day, I always have to think about this doctor, because what made her ask me repeatedly what I was doing? I mean, it was not letting her go, obviously. And I mean, I answered the first time. I don't know what I answered, but I mean, it's obvious that she wasn't satisfied enough with that answer. Like, there has to be more, because how can this woman give birth to the baby with a heartbeat that wasn't really good, and still everything is drowned in this peace, in this bubble of peace and worship? So I'm gonna leave this open to you. But back to the story. We were there, they were cutting the cord. I was birthing the placenta afterwards, which was like naturally wild. This was so interesting. Like, I built a whole organ myself, like my body. And now when I saw the organ, I was like, okay, this is no question that I was sick all the time in my first trimester, because your body is literally not doing only a human being, but it's also building a new organ for that human being. How perfect is everything, my goodness, praise the Lord. Okay. I saw the placenta, they were checking on the baby, I took a shower, which was awesome. Hi, look who is back from her walk. Hey, Bobby. Mwah. We were just there, going to our room again. I was in the bed, I'm being pulled. Yeah, and then the time of postpartum started. The time of getting to know each other and snuggling a lot, and the most wonderful days in my life. Hey, I am done. I'm finished with my birth story, and I really hope, as I said, I hope this is encouraging, and I hope that it changes your view on birth, because really it's for me the hardest, most over the edge going thing I have ever accomplished. I cannot imagine that there is something more difficult and hard to do than to give birth, but it's simultaneously the most wonderful thing I've ever experienced. My husband told me he had a career as an ice hockey player, and he said one of his biggest successes was, I think, some world championship in America, and he said that it was for him the craziest experience that he had. And he said, in fact, like his biggest success in ice hockey, which was what I told you, does not come close to the experience he had with us, of me giving birth. It changed him totally. It changed how he views women, how he looks at me. It changes how, like, the respect that we have for each other is so crazy now, also from my side, that like how I watched him supporting me. And yeah. And also the course that I did talks about transformation of women, and it was indeed transforming. I do not view myself as the same person, because I'm like, if I did that, if I managed to give birth to a human being, there is nothing in this world that I couldn't do. Of course, it wasn't my own strength. I really want to emphasize that. I'm not saying I did this on my own and I'm so strong and I can do anything without God. No, I'm saying that with God, I believe really nothing is impossible. Like, this is the time to believe it now, for real. And I pray that you can take this as an encouragement, and that you reflect yourself, how you view birth, how you look at birth, and be encouraged. And I beg you, prepare for your birth. Do not go with the flow. So many things can go wrong if you don't know what is coming. Now I remember, this is something I said to the doctor when she asked me the first time. I said that I did a lot of preparation, and like, you saw the result of my preparation, for real. So yeah, this was my story. I still feel like there is so much more to be said. There is so much more that you need to know, that I want to tell you, but like, this video is already so long and we are tired, right? So I would say, if you have any more questions, please get to me, ask me them, because I would love to encourage you. I would love to change your view on birth. I would love to tell you more, even if you have specific questions. So, Gesundheit. So hey, I thank you so much. I thought she was spitting. Thank you so much for watching this video, this whole video. And thank you for supporting me. If you were a person that had to do with my birth, if you were a person praying for me, thank you 1,000 times. I will be grateful forever. I'm so glad that you made the decision to pray for me, because we felt it. We felt the heaven on earth, and I should stop talking now. Hey, thank you. I don't know what I will be talking about the next time. I don't know when I will do the next video. Next week we are moving, so this is the last video, the last moments that I will capture in Bobby's room while she's eating her fists. Thank you for watching, and I wish you all the best. And we'll see us in the new apartment for the next video. Bye. She did not just vomit now. Oh my gosh. This is such an unsatisfying ending.